All right, you should have a finished interview by now. Maybe you have, maybe you did it by audio, maybe you did it by video, maybe you did it by email or texting or whatever way you did it. If you did do it in audio or video format, I suggest the first thing that you do is transcribe the interview. What I mean by that is listen to the interview and write down what words were said so that you have a text document for it. It'll make the analysis of your interview much easier. This is what I do when I do interviews. Is the first step is I transcribe. There's a way that'll make this much easier, and that's to go to someplace like temi.com, Temi, and you can just upload your video or upload your audio, and it'll transcribe it for you automatically. It's not perfect, but it makes the transcription go much, much faster. So you just have to go through and quickly check everything and make sure that it's what was actually said. I should say that Temi is not free. Temi does cost 25 cents a minute, but I'm going to guess that most of your interviews were probably only 10 minutes or so. So that's only about $2.50. You can always cut out, if you have any audio editing skills, cut out the parts that are not relevant before you upload it to Temi so that it only transcribes the parts that you're actually interested in analyzing. Regardless, I do find that transcription really helps in breaking stuff down. Once you have a transcription, you'll have something that looks kind of like this. This makes it really easy to go through and highlight parts that are really important to you, things that you want to come back to for inclusion in your WP2. I also put in here little comments to help give me some ideas about what I might write about as I go through. So I've highlighted things that I want to come back to. I've put comments in here that help me remember what I want to talk about as I go through the transcription. If you decide that you don't want to do a transcription, you can still kind of do this anyway. What I suggest you do is listen to your interview and just mark down the timestamp where something important happens. So if something happens at minute 1, second 32, write 1:32 and write down the quote that you want to talk about or the interesting information that's there. And you probably will need to listen through a couple of times to make sure you catch everything that's important in there. But I do suggest that you go through and make notes next to break down. Once you have everything broken down a little bit in your transcript or by listening to your audio, I suggest coming back to the assignment sheet and making sure that you're focusing on the things that we need to focus on for WP2. In particular, you want to focus on that person's writing experiences, any writing tips they have, and a summary of the overall points that they're making. Make sure that you are using quotations directly from the interviewee. So these 4 right here, grading criteria, are ones that you're directly going to need to draw right out of the interview itself. So make sure that you're focusing on these 4 as you go back through and listen to the interview or read the transcript. Of course, if you have any questions about this process, feel free to ask in the questions forum.